First of all, Eric, I'm sure we are here with you at some point when we are talking about the issue of strategy, and I told you that a good student in strategy must be good in history. So without understanding history, it's very difficult to be very strategic. That's why I talk about the issue of analysis before situation analysis before you go do anything. Remember, Moi called this thing MOU. Kibaki called it Nusumkati. Uhuru called it handshake. Ruto has called it bipartisan. Now, and now I don't know which is the next one. We just with these words keep on going. Also remember some historical thing that happened. Everything happens, for example, before we did the handshake, President Uhuru Kenyatta was in Ethiopia. Raila was to be sworn in. And you remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta was not as strong as his deputy. You remember, Ruto never wanted this swearing in to take place. And he said it won't happen. Look at Gachagua again and Ruto. Ruto was away during this time when Mandamano were going fever pitch. Then you find again that Gachagua was saying it won't happen. We can't talk about any negotiation. The only negotiation will be how do you go home? So you see, every time the president is there, the deputy takes more hard lines than the head of state. So now this has happened whereby the thread again has been led by the needle. The needle says, okay, let's talk. When the thread was saying we can't talk. Now the thread has to follow. Thank you very much, Gerard, for that in this direction. Now, let me put this to perspective. According to me, what I make of this, if I've told you that for 4 presidents, it has ended up into some kind of negotiation and different names, but the same thing. Why do we have to wait for property to be destroyed, lives to be lost, if we know that's the way? If you start quarreling with your wife, and you know by the end you are going to go out for dinner, don't even quarrel. Tell her, sweetheart, let's just go for dinner. Why do we have to fight is when you go for dinner? Why do we have to throw tear gas and do all those shenanigans and kill our economy? We lost 6 billion shillings a year, per day for the demonstrations. Remember, Kenyans were in a place whereby people from abroad wants to book summer holidays, and Kenya was not a place to go because this money has gone to Tanzania and the rest. We've lost foreign direct investment. We've lost so much. Why did we have to lose this just to do what has always been done? Handshake, Nusumukati, or something like that.
It sounds like you're alluding to that they knew that there was going to be this conversation
yes, if
before.
You knew, yes.
And that all these things that happened, they kind of knew that they were going to happen. And so you're saying, why waste time fighting if we knew that we were going to come to the table to
Yes, because
agree?
Even if they said
why would they know something like this and still allow these things to happen?
I did a press release as Operation Dogatusi, and I told them, Mr. President, the buck stops with you. Don't ask me about Raila's alternative, because let me tell you what, my dear, the right answer begins the right question normally. People don't know this. And remember when we were in primary school, secondary school, whenever exam was put on the table, there's always a moment when the teacher could come to correct the exam question. The bright students will raise their hand and say, question 4 is wrong. You have to change it so that you can get the right answer. But the stupid students will just say, why are you wasting time? So you realize if the question is not well formulated, the answer will be wrong. So I'm sure, of course, you see, by being a professor, among the one Mwalimu question 6 is wrong. If you put it this way, the answer cannot be there. There is no correct answer. So the right question was that Raila had got all options considered. The last resort, he could not win through parliament because parliament has been taken. There was a perception the judiciary was gone. Everything was gone. The only thing remaining was the street, and he went to the street. So the next question was, what were Ruto's alternatives, not Raila's alternative? If the alternatives were checked, and I made it very clear in some press statements, that Ruto rules State House because he has got legal license to rule State House. He was sworn in the legal way. Raila rules the street, which he calls social license. The street feeds State House. And when Raila cuts the pipe to State House, the economic pipe, State House has to come out and talk. And that's what's happening. That is an economic imperative. So if that is the case, they knew. And if anybody is brilliant in Kenya Kwanza government, they knew. If they don't know, then we have to question their intelligence. So they knew. So they took us the route which we knew where it's going to end. Raila told Ruto, if Moi came to handshake me, who are you? So how could they not know? And I'm sure the Kenya Kwanza people have enough brains to know this. If not, then that's the question. So for me, at the moment, I'm not even looking at the issue of bipartisan. The question is, Eric, Do you believe that the parliament can be bipartisan? The answer is absolutely no. So me, I would like to suggest that let us take this thing out of parliament and let us involve more stakeholders, because if we just go through parliament, there'll be politicians deciding our fate. All this time, I told Anonsi Musumkate, MOU, and the rest, everyone has gotten what they want who are political power. But Kenyans using people's power never gotten a benefit.
We don't get anything.
So let's get this thing out of this political arrangement. And I'm calling upon you as media people even to make the voice stronger, that we'd like to have the 4 estates involved in this negotiation now.
Okay.
The
We'll
first-
come back into what this thing is that we need to get out of parliament. But Gerard,